Welcome back to another episode of Greenlit and Grounded, everyone. In today's episode, we had the opportunity to chat with René Escobar Jr.
We talked about what it means to be a professional and not simply just a yes man.
He also gave his opinion on what it means to be a good agent, as well as advice he received from Jason Biggs.
If you enjoy this episode, make sure to subscribe, give it a like, share it with some friends. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, 5 stars go a long way, so we'd really appreciate it, and enjoy.
René Escobar Jr., thank you for joining us, man.
Thanks for having me, man. Very excited.
Oh, yeah.
It's been a long time coming.
I'm pumped, man.
Certainly has been a long time coming,
Literally.
We were watching an interview with you talking about your work on Heartland.
Yeah.
And you were talking specifically about your audition. And when you read the script and then you did your audition, you felt initially that it was too harsh for the tone. And then you realize afterwards, you know what, that feels right. And so much of our world and our conversation and auditioning for TV and film is about tone and rhythm and genre. And so when do you make that judgment call, whether it's for the initial audition or for a callback or stuff like that? How do you discern when to be very accurate to the tone of a show like Heartland versus something that you're like, no, I know I want to bring a more gritty feel to it?
Well, I would definitely do my research on what kind of show it is.
Yeah.
Right. So like Heartland specifically, it's a very family-oriented show.
Yeah, it's got like a lighthearted nature to it.
It's a very lighthearted nature to it, and my character was supposed to come in quite harsh.
Okay.
You know, like a juxtaposition of Amy and like Heartland as a whole. So I thought about taking it easy and not being so harsh as a character, because my character came off as a little bit of a dick.
Okay.
Right off the top, and I'm like, well, no, it's exactly what they want, right? Like I'm not supposed to be looking the best right now. I'm supposed to start really rough, and then the audience kind of like gets endeared to me later on.
But does it say that in the audition breakdown?
No, I kind of just like made that decision myself.
Yeah.
And I remember looking back at that audition and watching like when I did it myself and like looking back, and I'm like, well, geez, I was really harsh on. I delivered those lines quite harshly. No one's going to like me. And then that's the whole point, right?
They're not supposed to like you.
That character is not supposed to be liked right off the bat. He's supposed to be like a bit of a dick. And then you kind of get to know that, oh, wait, he's like a single father. He's an ex-Olympian, really nice guy. And once you get to know him, he ends up being someone who like is actually like a really cool guy, which I think it's kind of me in real life.
And were there moments in the
cool guy?
Yeah, he comes off really mean, guys, but actually he's really cool,
kind of a nice guy.
But were there moments because obviously I don't know what the audition sides were, but were there moments in the audition sides that you were then able to point to that go, I can be harsher here because there are these moments in the audition where I can be more likable and lighthearted? Or was it sort of just like a leap of faith of, no, my read, I see the character breakdown, I know the tone of the show is a little lighthearted, but my read, the thing that I want to do with it is to be harsher? Or was that more direction based?
Well, I had 2 scenes for the audition.
Yeah.
And
sorry, just to clarify, it was self-tape, you said?
It was a self-tape.
Okay.
Yeah. I had 2 scenes for the audition, and usually if I get 2 scenes, if I get more than 1 scene as an actor, like I feel like that's my opportunity to show 2 sides of a character.
Right. Yep.
Right. Especially if the character has an arc.
Yeah.
And so the first scene, like my first line, I'm pretty sure it was like, "Hey, you're not supposed to park there."
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay,
coming in hot.
Yeah,
right
I come in so hot. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be an asshole on this one. And then the second scene is like, I reveal that I'm a single dad, and I'm picking up. I forget what my daughter's name was, but I'm picking her up after school. That's classic single dad
Crazy.
syndrome, right? Only on the weekends. With my Patagonia vest.
Yeah, there we go.
Disappointment.
There, man.
You know what I'm talking about.
Funny.
Yeah, I don't want him for the weekend.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, it was kind of easy for me because the two scenes were very different, and I'm like, okay, great, and they made it easy for me.
Felt like you sense that juxtaposition.
Yes, I'm like, okay, great, I can show 2 different sides.
Yeah,
and so I did, and I love like my first line is, "Hey, you're not supposed to park there," and that made it really easy for me.
Yeah, there's that one line that kind of like takes you into it.
So you mentioned the guy was kind of a dick.
Yeah,
that actually leads very well into our next question here.
It's not about dicks, is it?
No,
it's
not.
somewhat. It's about kind of acting like a dick. You've mentioned that you've worked with leads who have had dick moments.
Oh yeah.
Can we talk about that a little bit?
Sure. Yeah. Nameless, of course. Right.
Oh yeah.
Of course.
Of course. If you want to drop a name, you're more than welcome to.
Well, I mean, I choose having a career.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. We don't have any career serious here. I mean, look, Quentin Tarantino made some douchey
He's
comments, but it's also Quentin Tarantino. It's like
that's the thing, right? Like,
when you get to that level, you could be an asshole. I guess
you can be an asshole.
Doesn't
He's
mean you
made
should,
it very
though.
clear that he's got like he's only gonna make 13 movies, or he's got like a specific number, and I think he's got one left.
Yeah.
Something
So
like
he's
that.
like, I'm gonna let it rip. Fuck it.
Fuck it, man. Like whatever. What do I have to
Exactly.
lose? You know, my
Yeah,
body
go
of
for it.
work speaks for itself.
True.
But no, yeah. So dick moments. What are some dick moments that you've seen with leads? Again, not naming names, just situations.
I feel like just the energy. And what do I mean by that? Like we've all been on set, right? And so when you walk onto a set, the vibe of the set is dictated by the number one or the number two, like the leads of the show or leads of the movie, right? And if they're assholes, everyone is going to absorb that and be an asshole to their inferior or to their subordinate.
Yeah.
Right. And so that trickles down. So I've definitely been on sets with pretty big names where they're super nice and they're super awesome. And then at the same time, just absolute pieces of shit. And I'm like, fuck, man. Like I idolized you to a certain extent for so long. And now I meet you and you're like, you know. But then I'm like a kind of guy, I always like to give the benefit of the doubt.
That's what I was going to ask. Because
Yeah,
with
I'm
the
like, maybe he's having a bad week.
with the responsibility
You know?
of being a number one or number two, especially if they're also an executive producer or a showrunner, there's more responsibility. Do you give grace to that stuff, or is it an automatic of like, hey, I get you might have stresses, but when you're in front of camera working with these people, you do have to be able to take that hat off and put this other one on.
Yeah.
How do you view that?
It's hard. Frankly, no one's been a dick to me directly.
Have you had experiences though, like the cliche Hollywood assistant brings a coffee and they're like, what is this garbage? And you've seen it.
Okay,
like,
I won't
what
name
the-
names.
Yeah.
But
No,
I won't name names, but
I
there
mean, I
was
won't
this
say no,
one particular actor who had 3 assistants walking with them side by side the entire shoot. No hyperbole.
Flex.
Right? I want to get to that level.
Yeah.
True story. Like they were walking with them, three assistants walking with them the entire time. And one of the assistants' job was to carry a mirror and hold it up to their face. Notice I'm not saying it's a man or a woman.
Yeah.
Holding it to their face. And that was their entire job. And I would watch that interaction and they would be like,
Wow.
you know, and I'm like, okay, well, like if you're like that, that's not an off day. That's like you're just
Right.
You're
That's
just
like an expectation.
you're
This is
just
how
a
it
trash
goes.
And I was going to
individual.
ask you, is there a sense of, you know, maybe grace you give depending on either the role or the production itself? If it's like a thriller or
Like something that requires a certain
much
part of
more
them to be in a certain mental state.
dramatic show versus a comedy where it's like you don't need to get into
Yeah, like
this
if the lead
dark
of Heartland
place.
is doing that,
Yeah.
which they're not.
Which they're totally not. Amber Marshall is like the biggest sweetheart ever. Like I loved working with her. But yes, I do, you know, and the thing is like, I don't really get up in my feelings. I just kind of observe.
Right.
And I try not to take things personally whatsoever. And yeah, like the difference between a comedy and like anything else, like everyone's kind of laughing, having a good time with the comedy. But when it's when it's not a comedy, they're very serious topics, right? They're very serious topics and very serious scenes. And, you know, we have to do our best to get into that mentality, and everybody works differently. Like I'm the kind of person, man, like I can tell you if I ever, you know, become that name or anything like that,
When you get 4 assistants.
I will have max 4 assistants. Max. I won't go any higher than that.
Yeah, you'll one up that last person, but you won't exceed one upping them because they had
It's
3.
the kind of guy I am. I'm a very charitable person.
It's big of you.
Right?
Yeah.
But I can totally see myself as someone who I just don't want to be fucked with. Like if we're doing a serious show, if we're doing a serious movie, and like that, you know, I really need to get into that energy, into that mentality. Like I'm not that good of an actor that I can just snap out of it.
Turn it on.
And I can be like, well, where the fuck is my money? Cut. So how are the kids?
Yeah, there's a cool down period. There's a
do you know
cool
what I mean?
down,
I
yeah.
can't do that.
I mean, but
can't
that's
do
athletes. Athletes need to cool down.
that. Yeah, they do.
But do you think it would just be, you know, leading up to the scene in your trailer, you have your time, you kind of get to it, you shoot. The second they call cut and the day's over, you're back to you? Or do you think it's, while I'm shooting this thing, the whole time we're on set, from start to wrap, don't fuck with me because this is my playground,
like I don't
my
even
zone.
mean maybe not don't fuck with me, but it's just like if it's not about business, if it's not about this, like I'm not gonna be method and stay being the character. But like if we're not discussing the scene, I'll say this: a lot of people describe acting as a dance, like two people dancing together. I don't see it like that. I don't. I see it as we're going to war, right? And I don't want to get to know my enemy because if we're doing a scene, whether we're like friends in the scene or we're enemies in the scene, to me, it's still war.
Yeah.
And my job in my mind is to make you believe that what's going on right now, like this is for real. I'm looking at you and we're doing this, right? You better step up. And if you answer the call, I'm going to be right back at you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I get that respect from my coworker.
But then
does that make any sense?
It does. But then compare that to when you're working on Untitled Home Invasion Romance with Jason Biggs, which doesn't have that tone. I mean, I'm sure there are some moments and some scenes in that, but the tone of that movie is very different than the type of project you're talking about when you have that mentality.
Here's something that Jason Biggs told me.
Hit me.
I was doing a scene and it was a comedic scene.
Yes.
It's funny.
Was
right?
it with Tony Napo? Was it the one where because you got the guy up?
Bro, of course he's in that.
Yeah,
What
did
is
you know
this
that?
man in? I actually did. Dude. I was looking at his IMDb after and I was like, fuck, what
Tony
isn't this guy
Napo's in that, yeah.
Tony, man, such a good guy. Like, gave me so much great advice in the short time that we worked together, but such a great dude. It wasn't that scene.
Okay.
But it was a scene where like we break in and I'm supposed to say something funny and I know that it's funny.
Yeah.
Right. And we kept doing this scene and I really doubled down on it being funny. Like I knew it was funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm
Trying to
gonna
hit
make
that
you
moment.
laugh.
Yeah.
And Jason came up to me. He's like, "Hey man, like treat this like a drama." I'm like, "What do you mean?"
Yeah.
I didn't know what he meant. That's what's going to make it funny. If you
Right.
treat it as serious as you possibly can.
Yeah.
The audience is going to laugh at the context.
Very much so.
You know what I mean? So if you try to be funny, you're not going to be funny.
It's funny. There was I think you can see. I don't know if you're a fan of the show Glee at all.
No, I didn't know.
All right, fair enough. But you can see. I think Leah Michelle's audition or producer audition for that show is on YouTube.
Okay.
And it's funny because the more seriously she took it as Rachel Berry, the harder it makes the producers laugh. The more serious she took about how like I'm a star, I'm going to be on Broadway. Don't laugh at me. Like it made everyone laugh more. So this is sort of like in the same vein as that.
That's exactly it. So to answer your question, like, do I take the role just as seriously? I do, man.
Yeah.
Like, there's a scene without, well, we're probably gonna spoil it, but my brother is, he's dying.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
And it's a funny scene because it's supposed to be funny.
Yeah.
But I'm literally grieving for him.
Right.
You know, but that's what the audience finds funny.
Right.
Very much so.
You know, if I was like, oh no,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
If you
Like-
treated it like a comedy, there wouldn't be the sincerity behind it that we need to uplift it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, I feel like comedy, you almost have to treat it more of a drama than a drama.
Right.
A lot of the time, for sure. And so you actually, going back to Heartland for a second, you worked with Chris Potter.
I did. Yeah.
And I was watching an interview with you where you talked about how since he directed you, but he's also an actor.
He is.
And he really, as an actor director, he really helped you level up in terms of your approach. And you use that phrase level up. And I'm just curious what that means in Rene Escobar Jr.'s world in terms of leveling up as an actor working with that kind of director.
So I feel like when you're working with a director who is strictly a director, there's that little nuance that like, okay, I know what I'm doing and you know what you're doing. So let me
Like
do
we have our
me
separate
and I'll let
jobs.
you do you.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
When you're dealing with a director who's an actor,
They're like, I get it. I
They
get
like-
what you're doing.
yeah. And I like, have you guys worked with a director
Yes.
who is also, okay, so it's almost like it's like you can't call it in. You know what I mean? Like you really gotta, you can't fool
Yeah.
this guy
Yeah,
he knows.
yeah.
Right. So when I was working with Chris is like, he was a huge 80s and 90s star. And then he got into Heartland. And it's funny, he gave me, he was pretty harsh on me. Like, not like in a condescending way, but just like, dude, man, you can do better than that. You can do better than that. And I really didn't expect that when I worked on Heartland.
So he literally just said, let's go again. You can do better. Like that was your note. You can do
He's like,
better.
don't move. Stop moving. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like,
love that.
stay still. Stillness, you get your point across a lot more efficiently. Don't move around. Don't shift your weight. Don't move your hands. Just do it. And I'm like, yeah, but when I talk with my hands. Like, not right now, you don't. Stay still, deliver the line.
Right.
And I did. And then I watched playback and I'm like, wow, like he's onto something here.
See, this is huge because I feel like there's you know, a lot of actor talk around bringing yourself to a role and how would I do it. And so you make a very valid point of, but when I talk with my hands, or in this moment, if I were to do this, I would talk with my hands. And the director just goes, not right now, you don't.
Yeah.
And so in that moment, you sort of have to throw your ego out the door and go, okay, fuck me.
Yeah.
He's not doing it because he dislikes me, but something is not reading. Whereas a lot of actors tend to get tight in that moment and attach and grip down even more.
Yeah. And especially when you have a director who's an actor, and especially such a respected actor like Chris Potter, I knew that he's trying to make me a better actor. He's trying to make the scene better. If I'm getting a direction from a director who's not an actor, but like it's just a direction for the sake of direction, I'll still do it. But like in my head, I'm like
you'll give them the
fuck
take.
We're doing here. Yeah, I'll do the take just for you.
Yeah.
Right. But I won't say that I won't respect the decision. Yeah, I won't respect the decision. I'll say that. Right. But when I hold somebody to such a higher standard, right? Like I definitely kind of, I put my ego aside and I'm like, okay, well, yeah, he knows what he's talking about.
And how do you not get, I guess, rattled in that moment when he's saying
that's exactly
it's hard to, man. It's
when
hard
he's
to.
saying do better, how are you not going, fuck, I don't want to fuck this up. I don't want to lose the job. You know, like I'm not saying that's what you think. I know for some actors, you know, insecurities
100%
creep
100%
in,
that's
you
what
know,
I'm thinking.
right? So so what do you do in the moment, whether it's you take a breath, you just stay grounded and just be like, okay, I got this, you know, I have the experience, I've done the training, I belong here, I'm a professional. What does Rene do to kind of give you that calm and not go, okay, let's go right now and have that energy of like, he's still not going to do
the adrenaline.
Because,
Yeah. Well, something I'm not a yes man. Like, if you give me
that.
Well, like when someone tells me to do something on set, I don't just go, no problem. Yeah, right away.
Like if you need clarification.
Yeah. I'm like, what do you mean by that?
Great.
Like, what do you mean by that?
So many actors can like need to do that more because I've seen
it's
actors.
It's a Canadian thing, man.
Totally. And I think I've seen in auditions, actors shoot themselves in the foot because they get a direction and they do the whole, like in basketball, they call it the case of the yips. And they go, totally. 100%. And then they haven't taken the note and they have no idea what just happened, as opposed to taking a moment and just getting curious and going, can you elaborate on that so that we can collaborate?
What's the point? You're being phony.
Yeah.
Right? You're being so disingenuous when you're saying, you're lying to their face, saying that I understand what you're saying. I'm going to go ahead and do it. You're making yourself look unprofessional.
Yeah.
But I'm going to jump in. I think a lot of that is nerves. I don't think someone is going like, okay, I got you, because they want to be phony. I think it's the adrenaline, the nervousness of
they're
like,
just nervous.
Okay, I don't want to upset this person. This is a big opportunity, so I'm just going to say yes because I don't know what else to do. It's that like anxiety-driven energy.
I agree.
So what do you do to not have that affect you in the moment?
Well, I'm a professional, you know, and I'm here for a reason. I booked the job over however many people.
Yeah.
So I'm here. I already know that I belong here. Okay. Like first, and you can't get rid of me on set.
Bro, you can see the smile on my face when you said I'm a professional. I was like, fuck yeah, you are.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Man, that's it. Sorry.
Say it with your chest.
And I'll say this. So it's a Canadian thing. There's a mentality with Canadian actors that if we get a job, you're doing us a favor, right? Like there's a lot of Hollywood productions that come here and shoot here and they bring their mercenaries, like they're big guys, and they come shoot here. And then when we get a job, we've been indoctrinated to believe, oh my God, you're giving me a job?
Because we're a service industry.
So much.
Yeah.
Right? Like, thank you so much.
We get the scraps. So what like David Real was saying is like we just get whatever's left over and we're grateful for that to get anything at all.
Yeah.
Piss on me and call it rain. That's exactly what's going on.
God damn.
Okay? That's exactly what's going on. So
Have you worked with Tony Napo?
has Tony Napo worked with me?
Yeah, hey, there you go.
There it is. But yeah, man, like I never ate that up. Never. And I'm like,
Well, yeah, it's piss.
it's ammonia. I can't do it.
Don't knock it till you try.
Stop.
True. On our next segment, like, yeah, man, and it pisses me off.
Yeah.
It really fucking pisses me off when I see other actors doing it while I'm working with them, because you have to think about it. Stop trying to please somebody else. Okay. You think that you're coming off as like this really nice person to work with. No. But you're lying, because if you don't know what he's asking of you or she's asking of you,
how can you execute?
And you're fucking everybody else up.
Yeah.
Right? You're going to do a take and you're still not going to get it. You're going to do another take and you're still not going to get it.
Just wasting time and money.
So let's take 5 seconds, measure 5 times, and then we'll cut once.
Yeah.
Right? Clarify. I'm like, wait, what do you mean by that? Like, what exactly do you mean by that?
So now I want to ask though, were you always like this? Because you say I'm a professional.
Yeah.
When you're just starting out, you don't have a lot of credits to your name. You don't have a lot of on-set experience.
It makes sense that you'd have more anxiety over wanting to have that experience.
Like you're new. You're like, I don't want to fuck up. So again, that anxiety of like, I'm just happy to be here. I'll do whatever
What's
you
that
want.
turning point?
Yeah. I mean, you know, your first day on set ever, a professional set, you can't go, I'm a professional, I belong here. Which granted you are. You did book the role, but you don't have anything to look back on and be like, that's like this time where I did this and it's great. You kind of had to learn as you go, as is the case with anything. So when it first happened to you and you didn't have all these credits, what did you rely on to just stay grounded and calm in the moment?
I wasn't. When I first started, I was a yes man.
Yeah.
And I felt so gross. Honestly, I felt so gross. Like I would, okay, do this. Yeah, no problem. And then I'd be walking to where I'm supposed to go. And in my head, I'm like, I don't know what the
Even
fuck
just
I'm
as you
supposed to do.
said that in that tone, like, yeah, I just got like a weird like swallow feeling of like, ugh, like that's
It's disgusting.
Yeah.
It's disgusting. And it's like, you know what I mean? Like if you're getting a plumber, you have a leaky faucet, and you hire a plumber and you're telling the plumber your problem.
Yeah.
And as you're explaining it to them, he's nodding. Yep. Yeah. No problem. I can fix that for you. Yeah. In my head, I'm like, this guy has absolutely no idea what the fuck he's going to do.
Yeah.
But then you have the other plumber that comes in. He's like, what's your problem? That's it right there. Okay. I could either fix it this way or that way. Which way do you want it?
Right.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's just
totally.
logic. It has nothing to do with acting. It's just life.
Yeah.
And that's the way that I see it. Like apply the things that you would do in life. And that's what I do when I apply it on set.
And I feel like this
But
has
you learn from experience, right? Like
that's
I
what I
said,
was
like
gonna
you learn
say.
from experience.
It has to do with experience, but it also has to do with like who you are as a person and having faith and confidence in what you bring to the table. And actually, you and I had an interesting experience. I don't know if you remember this. I think it was like the first time you and I met, or like close to the beginning of you and I meeting. We took a class together, and I was up on the mark doing a scene, and I got a note, and I was trying to figure out a way to do it, to actively do the thing. And the lesson that I was being taught, because this is going back a while ago, the lesson I was being taught in that moment was sometimes you don't need to actually, quote unquote, do the thing. Sort of just allow your natural rhythms, allow the way that the words sound to do the thing for you as opposed to trying to make it happen.
Right.
And as a way for the teacher to really drive that lesson in, he brought you up onto the mark with me. And I don't know, do you remember this?
No.
Okay, so this is with Lewis, actually.
I remember the class that we took, but I don't remember like this precise moment.
So he gave us a line to say, and it was the same line. And he was like, Renee, go onto the mark and say the line.
Oh, yes, I think so.
And then
yeah,
Daniel go
yeah.
on the mark, say the line. And it was just say the words. Don't worry about acting. And then when you went onto the mark and said the words as honestly and purely as possible, and then I went onto the mark and said the exact same line
He asked everybody else.
he asked everyone else what the vibe difference was. And it just came, whether it was
Polar opposites.
because of the shape of our eyes and the color of our eyes and the bone structure and stuff like that. And so was there a moment where you sort of had to reconcile with how you wanted to be seen versus how you organically are seen?
That's huge. That's huge. Is it 2 or 3? There's like 3 people. No, I think there's 2 people, right? The person that you are.
Yeah.
There's 3 people.
3, yeah.
The person that you
yeah.
are inside, the person that you think you are,
Yeah.
and how people perceive you.
Yeah.
Completely, you know?
Yeah.
And I don't think I'm a dick. I'm a really nice person. But when people see me, whether it's on camera or in person, they don't like me at first.
Yeah.
All right. It's like someone who maybe has a punchable face, you know, like, he's going to be a dick. He's going to be entitled. He's going to be an asshole.
Yeah.
And then you get to know me. You're like, that's not it.
Yeah, it's called just being a good-looking guy. Sorry to break it to you.
You get that a lot, eh? I was going to say,
Look at that mug. Look at that mug.
Dude,
People
right
see me
here.
and they're just like, you seem like an ass. Actually, no. People see me, they're like, you seem like a nice guy. I'm like, you call me ugly, motherfucker?
do I look ugly to you? You son
Anyway,
of a
sorry,
bitch.
I didn't interrupt. You keep going. Do your thing.
No, we can rename the podcast, like I said, to Handsome Guys.
Oh, stop.
My name's Dolce and Gabbana.
Dolce and Gabbana. That's so funny.
But yeah, like, I'm thrown off. What did you say?
Well, no, the
3 people.
The 3 people.
Yeah. So it's just like, you can't fight that. No matter what you do, you can't fight how people judge you within the first 2 seconds of seeing you. And knowing that is going to be beneficial for your acting career. Because even though you're not this kind of person, you know what you can play well.
Yeah.
And you have to double down on that.
Yeah.
Right? Like right off the bat, like, you know, the first thing that I see from you are your eyes. You have great eyes, dude. Right?
Stop, man.
Right. So it's like that's something that people are going to see right away. And you have a great jawline, great hair.
Come
on,
You know what I
so
mean?
Punchable.
Yes,
It's
such a
so
punchable
punchable.
jawline. Break my hand if I punched you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like these things that are just so objective, and we can't fight them.
Yeah.
And no matter how much, like I'll always try to. I've realized like I play really well like the no filter kind of asshole best friend.
Yeah.
I've played that so many times, and I've gone out for these Hallmark leads.
Yeah.
Of like the sweet.
Yeah.
I was gonna say the asshole best friend doesn't work for a Hallmark film.
No,
You
but
can't do
no,
that.
but it works for like the asshole best friend.
Yes.
In the Hallmark.
In the
film,
Hallmark film. Fair
right?
enough,
Which
fair enough.
that's my bread and butter.
Yes.
Right. But
Yes,
like
sir.
I've gone out for all these for these leads in Hallmark movies, which is totally. I feel like it's not my brand, but it's like the guy who's like, well then, I loved you since high school. You know what I mean? It's just like it doesn't sell.
You know
It
what's so
doesn't
funny
sell.
is I think this exercise I was talking about in Lewis's class, I think the line was something along the lines of, "I loved you the moment I met you."
Oh, was that the
And
line?
I think it was that. Or it was something like, "I love you more than anything," or something. So it's literally.
Well, can we do that with our producer friend? Can we do like just like right down the barrel? I loved you when I met
All right,
you.
you go first.
Okay.
Okay, what's the line?
Is it I loved you when I met you?
I just go with "I love you more than anything."
Okay.
And yours is right here.
Okay. Oh, right.
Yeah.
I love you more than anything.
And it's my turn?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on a second. I'm going to laugh. Okay. Okay, stop. You're laughing.
Go ahead.
Okay. I love you more than anything.
Wait a second. This feels like the Unusual Suspects.
Yeah, Usual Suspects.
Usual Suspects.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like.
Here, I won't look. I won't look.
I love you more than anything.
See, boom. Like you came off sincere. You came off like very emotional, very like you mean
I have
this.
sad
I look
boy
like I was
energy.
talking to like a Big Mac. Like I want to eat
mean-
you more than anything.
I mean, hey,
You know what I mean?
I do carry sad boy energy. I have learned that. I do.
Have you heard that
Well, no,
before?
I am a naturally I'm a more emotional dude.
I can attest to that.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
I carry my heart on my sleeve.
Yeah, you do.
And
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe it's because of like the eyes or whatever. I come off as like more emotionally charged. And sometimes that's good, sometimes that's,
That's
not
something
good.
that's even if it's true or not,
It just is.
It's something that you can't fight.
But
Yeah.
I do want to ask then, knowing that, how do you not get stuck just being typecast as the asshole best friend in
Yeah.
Hallmark films? Like, how do you break out of that mold of, well, this is how everyone sees me, I'm going to double down, I do it well, but now I want other types of roles, whether they're bigger roles or just different types of characters. What do you actively do to change how you're perceived
How
in an
people perceive
industry
you. Yeah.
when it's all about just visual cues of, that's what he looks like?
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
can't
like
control.
it's something that I do well, like that particular role, but
Yeah.
I've been very fortunate that I haven't been pigeonholed into a kind of character because if you look at my filmography, like a lot of the characters are
Yeah.
very diverse.
Very
like,
diverse.
You know what I mean? Like I feel like if you have a good agent, if you have someone that can bring you out for different things,
Yeah.
right? That casting director can see, oh shit, like he's
There's
not
range.
just this guy. Like he can actually he's not right for this role, but I bought that.
Yeah.
I do want to ask, what do you consider a good agent?
Oh, that's a good question. Someone you can communicate with bluntly. Someone who sees you the way that you see yourself. That's so important. I used to be with an agent who I would have conversations with and say, hey, like, you know, I really like the fact that I'm going out for these, but I can totally do this.
Yeah.
And she told me in an email, you're daft. Like you're clueless.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And I'm like, all right, well, go fuck yourself.
Well, I remember I was living in New York at the time and I was interviewing with an agent and we were talking about like the roles that I could go out for. And this is like more for like theater and musical theater. And I remember being like, yeah, I see myself going out for roles like, and I mentioned the roles in the show. And she goes, oh, interesting. I don't see that. And I felt like I was the crazy one in that moment because I'm this like fresh actor on the scene. I have no experience. She's been in the industry for 30, 40 years. So she must be right. Literally the next week, I got a call back for the exact role in the
Hilarious.
exact show that she said she didn't see. And
Hilarious.
so, yes, there is experience to be respected when you're talking to people of that cut from that cloth.
Yeah.
But you also know elements of yourself as well.
Absolutely. And I will say, like, agents have a different job and they know way more than we do.
Yeah.
Right. Like we can say, I'd be great for this. And they'll be like,
nah,
there's no fucking way.
Yeah.
But as long as they give you a shot to show that you can do that. Right. I'm very fortunate that I have an agent who, like, off the get-go, when we sat down and we talked, we were very in line with the fact that, there's a wide array of possibilities that I can go for. And we both agreed with that. Yeah. And having great communication and having someone that believes in you, like genuinely believes in you. Seriously, it sounds corny, but like how many people have agents that like are it's strictly transactional.
I get a lot of students asking me like questions about agencies, especially if they're looking for their first agent. How do I know if it's a good agent? Who should I go with? And like, there's all these tiny little things to consider. But when push comes to shove, it's like, which one do you feel has your back? Which one do you feel supports you and believes in you and can champion you? If you don't feel like your agent's going to do that, then again, it kind of leads into the whole service mentality of like, oh, I can do that. Please like me. Please, think I can do it. As opposed to being a teammate.
Actors, we're like at the bottom of the totem pole. Yeah. And we're going to be, genuflecting to everybody. The one person you shouldn't be doing that to is your agent. You guys are supposed to be a team. Yeah. And people don't understand that, especially Canadians.
100%.
Right? Like they feel like it's a hierarchical relationship, and it's not. You guys are work together. If you don't get paid, your agent doesn't get paid. Right? It has to be a collaboration.
So speaking about that collaboration, when you were auditioning for the role in Untitled Home Invasion Romance with Jason Biggs, it's the same executive producer as a previous project you did, right?
Correct.
What was that other project again?
Operation Mistletoe, a Christmas movie.
Right, it was a Christmas movie. Okay. And so you got the audition, but you did the audition in your trailer with the executive producer.
With the EP,
and so you didn't have like studio lighting. You weren't like at home comfortable. You didn't have your backdrop. If I think you may have even showed it to me or whatever, but you were like sitting. I think I did, yeah. You were sitting down.
I showed you, yeah.
And so what did that teach you about the self-taping experience? Is also an American executive producer?
Yes.
So talk to me about that.
Okay, so the reason that happened was because I was on set shooting this Christmas movie, and the audition was for the same EP for the same production company.
What did the character breakdown say?
Oh, we'll get into that.
Yeah.
But I literally could not physically shoot the tape because it was a 48 turnaround, and I was on set both of those days.
Yeah. So when are you going to do this?
When am I going to do it? I don't have anyone to shoot with. Like I'm literally not going to have any time. And then I noticed that the EP on this project, the same as Untitled Home Invasion Romance. And so I went up to them and I'm like, hey, this is my situation. Like, is there even a point of me auditioning? Yeah. And they're like, hey, are you free at lunch? We'll shoot it very off the cuff. We'll just shoot it up. Yeah. I'm like, okay. In my mind, I'm like, well, this is awesome because I can audition for this project, not thinking I'm going to get it at all, but they can keep me in mind for another project. Things, right? This will be like part of my.
And you also get to skip so many hurdles of the casting process. You're going right to executive producer because you're with them.
Yeah, absolutely.
No lighting, no professional setup. Let's just raw dog it basically.
Yeah, and I feel like that. The fact that you have that low pressure, some would say high pressure, but it was. You can improvise a little more and show more of your personality and be a little bit more free. I definitely felt that. And what the character breakdown was,
I remember
it was they were looking for a 6'5" Ukrainian guy.
You fit the bill.
But I'm not 6'5".
Hey, there you go.
Get it?
There you go.
So that was another thing. I'm like, well, what is the point of me auditioning for this? I don't fit the description, like not by a long shot.
Yeah.
And I still submitted, thinking again this was like an audition for a project down the road. Yeah. And then I booked it, and I'm like, well, I'm really so confused. There's no way I can predict what's going on in this business. Yeah. And then I find out that they just forgot to update the character breakdown.
That happens so
They just forgot to do it.
Crazy.
They were looking for a Latino with no specified height. Yeah. To play the brother of Ernie. Who happens to be Latino. And I'm like, okay. So that was a huge lesson because, we learn a lot of stuff in theory, oh, don't believe anything the character breakdown says. We know that in theory. Yeah. Right. They've told us, but that was really the first time where I experienced it. Yeah. genuinely, when you see that character breakdown, throw it out the fucking window.
Yeah, and it's interesting because I feel like a helpful piece of advice that I've received with that is like, look, don't take the, in terms of the moments that the characters are going through, like, yes, that's ingrained in the story and what you're auditioning for. But instead of looking at a breakdown and identifying and highlighting all the things you're not and all the things you don't get about them, focus on the things you do get about them.
Oh, that's great.
Because then there's going to be something, whether it's that one element of heartbreak or that one thing of being a family person or understanding loss, where it's like, even if that is the current breakdown, where it is the physical descriptions are totally wrong, firstly, they wouldn't ask you to come in if they didn't want to actually consider you.
Exactly.
And you can't control that you're not 6'5". You can't control the fact that you're not Ukrainian, but you can lean into what you do bring to the table, which is the heart and soul of this person. And when you focus on that and identify that in a scene, everything else goes out the window and it doesn't matter.
I worked on a show with Patricia Clarkson from the Green Mile called Grey, and one of the series regulars, he was a Toronto local, right? And I asked him, like, how was his audition process? And he was like, man, it was like so wild, because when I got the breakdown, they were looking for a white male between 40 and 60 to play like this. I think it was like CIA or DEA agent or something like that. And when he got the audition, he went to his agent and said, well, what's the point of me auditioning?
Yeah.
He's like, no, the director asked for you specifically.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And he booked it. He's like a 40-year-old black guy.
Yeah.
And he looked at this character description. He's like, I don't fit this shit.
Yeah.
And throw it away.
It puts us in our own box. And it's like, there's going to be so many aspects of this industry that disregard you for things out of your control. We shouldn't be doing that to ourselves.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
I think there also is something to be said of, it was with Tony. He was saying, like, you see it and you're like, I'm not going to fucking get this. And it's like, you kind of shoot yourself in the foot and you're you're already at a disadvantage before you even start.
Mindset's everything.
Yeah.
And it really is, to your point, like, if they're bringing you in, there's obviously something there that they're willing to see you for this part. Otherwise, they wouldn't just do it to be like, this make him feel good. We'll bring him in. He's not going to cast the part.
Favor for you.
I have so much time. I have so much time.
I feel bad for this guy. Let's throw him a bone. Like, no, it's too much money on the line, especially for like a procedural. They need you to know. They need someone right away.
Yeah,
and you can't make the argument that some people have maybe the mentality of, well, this is going to go to an American or a name, so they're just kind of trying to check a box. But you also never know. That name might get another offer, and they're like, no, I'm not interested in this anymore. And they just leave the project, and now your audition is the top one. So, yeah, I mean, there's definitely frustrating parts of the industry like that, where you audition for something where you probably don't have much of a chance because someone's already attached, and they haven't revealed that.
Yeah.
But, again, to your point, to Tony's point, when you audition, like, you never know down the line how it's going to affect your career. And Lewis always talks about this. How it's like a ripple. He's like, actors think an audition is you just go into a brick wall, but really it's a ripple. You throw a stone in the lake and you see how far it ripples down. You don't know what it'll lead to. So I think that's just a very important mindset shift that a lot of actors have to make is
yeah, man. I see acting as like a lottery. So there's a lot of luck involved, but you can control how many tickets you throw in there.
Totally.
Do you know what I mean?
You're
how many numbers you throw in there?
You are talking to the gambler.
You're talking to the right guy, brother.
Oh, God. Do we want to get into this? Gosh. Do we want to get into this?
Super Bowl's a rough season for him.
Sponsored by DraftKings.
Oh, my gosh.
Hey, FanDuel, what's up?
What's up, FanDuel?
It's available. Just saying.
Honestly, and I'll say this on camera, as someone that actually does play on FanDuel, that shit's everywhere, man.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would that's not true. If they said the right price, I would take it.
100%. Man. You're telling me my rent's going to get paid?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got it.
Either that or you could double it.
Yeah.
Oh, well played, God. Well played.
I'm just saying.
You never drop it, eh?
But it's interesting that you bring up the whole, like, this guy, he didn't see himself as like a CIA agent or something like that.
Yeah, like he saw himself as he knew he could do the role.
Yeah.
But with the character description, they were looking for a white,
whatever,
a
okay.
white
like a
old
write-off.
man,
It's like,
and
that's
he's
not
young black guy, and he's like, well, the hell they want from me?
Have you ever played like a detective or like a CIA agent like that? Because you do.
So my role in that show was I worked for the Pentagon.
Yes.
Which was fucking greatest role. Like, I love that. That's my bread and butter.
Yeah.
I have a degree in criminology.
I was just going to say, you have a degree in criminology, so that helps that.
I speak fluent legalese. So I any detective, lawyer, DEA, CIA, whatever you want to call it, whatever
just
acronym you want
off
to
the
use.
tongue.
Bro, like that's my dream.
Has your training with your criminology degree, outside of like, yes, if you're playing a role that exists in that world, you understand their mindset and the things they need to consider. But the skills in which you break stuff down, has that helped you at all in your acting in general, or has that held you back in certain moments? Because not all tools respond to different jobs equally.
True. I will say, like, just because I got a criminology degree doesn't mean that I know what it feels to be a detective or a CIA agent. Okay, I fucking have no idea.
You've never practiced being a detective in terms of on the streets,
Right.
Yeah.
But I will say that when all the schooling that I did, when I get an audition for, I had this audition for a botanist.
A
right?
botanist.
A botanist.
Yeah.
We know what botany.
Flowers.
Do
Yeah.
you know about? Okay.
Yes, plants, flowers.
Brother.
Right?
Come on now.
How dare you? That's $1.50 word. Get out of here.
what the fuck?
We're talking to the gambler here.
I mean, I know what it is. I wasn't sure if.
Bro, I know what a botanist is, bro.
You were looking after him.
I was making sure. You gotta have each other's backs, So
Yeah.
I had this, he's a botanist and he's got all this jargon that is insanely complicated.
Do you know what jargon is?
Yeah.
Okay.
What jargon did he speak? Because I probably know. I might have to explain to Daniel what the botanist
This might be
jargon
the last
is.
episode. I'm glad.
right?
I'm glad I was the last guest. But yeah, it was like a lot of jargon with plants and Latin names and all this stuff, and it was really hard to memorize. And not only I had to memorize it, but you have to say it like it rolls off the tongue,
Fluidly,
Right,
yeah.
Right. So anything that is related to law, I've heard these words before. Do you know what I mean?
So it's not foreign to you. You're not like,
it's
what
not
the fuck
foreign,
is that?
So I can get to
Yeah.
the work right away.
True.
I don't have to worry about, let me research. How do I pronounce this word?
Yeah.
What's this word mean? Blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. No, like I had an audition where they're talking about phrenology, right? Like, what the fuck is phrenology?
Well, that's the
Phrenology is
study of ferns, but
like, come on, man. Like, the class,
Shut up.
not to be confused with phrenology.
Oh my gosh.
Phrenology is the study of it's an antiquated criminological study of how they used to determine criminality by the shape of your head.
that's crazy.
So
The
by
shape of your head.
So they would look at the shape of your head and deem you're more prone to criminality than other people. So
You are more prone to criminality than other people.
yeah, 'cause I could cut glass with this jaw.
You could cut class with that jaw.
Dude,
There you
look
go.
at the back of this head.
Yeah.
I'd be
The back of that head is
I'd do
ridiculous.
a life sentence.
That's a
Yeah, like-
throwback.
You know what I mean?
You
So
like
like I
that?
knew what that meant. Like
Yeah.
I knew that definition, so I
Yeah.
could get right into it. But
Yeah.
if I didn't know it, I would have to be looking it up and researching it before I could even get into it. Do you find the same thing, like in your past life before like you got into acting?
I think a little bit, but I think it had more to do with like whether it's like my upbringing and my culture, and it made me understand certain things about human beings connect in certain ways. But no, I do think that my training as an actor was focused on storytelling and was focused on the technical elements of that, because I didn't have something like a criminology or a previous path. I was very much like a lost soul of I was kind of okay to moderately good at a bunch of things, but not really good or proficient or really proficient at any one particular thing.
Right.
I was pretty good at math, but even among the people good at math, I was at the bottom of the barrel there. So I didn't really have this thing that I really understood that then allowed me to grow a specific kind of skill set. I wasn't Jokic in the NBA who knows how to play water polo really well, and now he's one of the best basketball players of all time. And his skills
I
as
had
a water
no idea,
bro.
Is that really
That's
a thing?
like if you
can tell, man.
if you watch the way he holds
Yes,
the
the
ball
way he holds
and the
the
way
ball.
he passes it, it's all of his water polo
Yeah,
playing. So
man.
I didn't
Holy
have.
shit.
Did that just blow your mind there for a
that
second?
blew my mind. It makes
Yeah.
all his passes are like
It's
you
water
know how
polo.
water polo people like
Yeah.
they have
because
to
you have to
constantly
keep
be doing
your
this
body up here.
yeah because
Upright,
you're floating
yeah.
right
Yeah, very much so.
all his passes are like that
All of
like
it. Wow. And so I didn't have that to then translate to acting. Acting was the first thing I found that I was like, oh my gosh, there's something that is pulling me to this and is bursting out of me, and I want to dedicate everything I am to this. Now I do
it's
think
an obsession. Like it's an obsession.
And I think I had other interests that, like, I recently made a we were talking about betting before, and so this was about around a poker table, and it was interesting because the specificness of
You
like
made a
when
short film. You said I recently made a. It was around.
Oh yes, I made a short film. Sorry, thank you. Good teamwork there.
I got you, bro.
And so the specificness of like when someone has to bet versus when they call, and there were, as we were like doing the scene, some people were checking after someone bet, and I was like, no, you can't do that.
Yeah, exactly.
You clearly don't understand how the rhythm of people aren't just randomly throwing chips into a table. People aren't just randomly flipping over cards. There's an actual very system in an organized fashion to how this works. And so, no, I didn't have any of that. But when someone does have that, I'm like, I'm curious what that water polo effect is in the thing they've then decided to dedicate their life to.
Yeah, like, I guess... getting a degree in criminology definitely changed the way that I speak, and how I come off. I guess like in acting, because like it's my everyday talk, and I feel like criminology taught me, really instilled in me to really think of the correct word to use, and think before you talk. And so like I was having this conversation with this coworker, and she's like, you don't have to filter yourself around me. You can just talk to me like whatever. And I'm like, I'm not filtering myself around you. I'm literally, that's just the way that my brain works. I'm thinking of the right word to use because like I need to find that precise word.
I'm the same way.
To get the point across.
Yes,
I'm the same way.
So it definitely has molded my characters, and doing essays for 5 years, habitually has definitely made me into, it definitely shaped me.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to wrap up shortly, but I do want to ask you, what is one of the most useful pieces of advice you've gotten that's helped you throughout your career as an actor?
Helpful advice.
And if you get into this industry, you're crazy. We were talking about that.
Talking about that earlier.
Well, two pop up. If there's something else that you can do, go do it.
That's what we're just talking about.
No. Hold on. You elaborate. Elaborate on what you mean by that.
Go in, man.
I can speak for myself. To me, this is an obsession. It's a compulsion. It's the only thing that I will do. Okay. I have a degree in criminology.
I was just gonna say you could have gone to criminology.
Fuck. I don't give a shit.
Right.
Like I don't. I could do some other things.
So it's not just a matter of if you can do something else, go do it.
No, I don't mean like that. Like mentally, in your heart, if you're happy or satisfied doing something else, and it exists,
that's what
it's that way.
That's
go
what Rob
for
was
it.
getting at. Yeah.
Okay, go for it.
Yes,
but I can't.
So I think that's where it gets lost a lot. I think it's this idea is if you can do something else, go do it.
Well, because hold on, do you know why? It's because the way that advice is usually phrased.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is like to Robert's point, if someone says if you can do something else and be happy doing it, go do it.
But
that's
they don't
different.
But they don't say that.
No, they leave the happy part.
They literally say if you can imagine yourself doing something else, go do that other thing. And I think that's horseshit. I think that's horrible.
I'll tell you something.
Advice.
No, yes and no, but I'll tell you, if you ask me like, are you happy being an actor? I'll even go and say I'm like it. No, I wouldn't describe my life as an actor or like this journey as happy.
I love where you're going.
No, it's not. To me, it's an obsession that I cannot let go.
It's a compulsion. Yeah.
It's a complete compulsion.
Yeah.
Now, I'm literally working on that to create some sort of balance in my life.
Yeah.
But I eat, sleep, shit this.
Yeah.
All right. And I wish that's why I said like if there's something else that you can do, go do it. It'll be liberating. There's other people that, give up acting and do something else.
Yeah.
And they think that like they quit or that they, no, I'm like, good for you, man.
Yeah.
You figured out what worked for you.
You figured it out.
Yeah.
That's awesome for you, right?
Yeah.
You don't feel compelled. You broke the shackles.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm shackled. Right. Like if I didn't have this, like I do not know where I would be.
So I do want to expand a little bit. You said you eat, sleep, shit this.
Correct.
A lot of actors are like, oh, if I'm not in an acting class, I'm not getting auditions. What else can I do? What is it that you do in the downtime when you're not in class, you don't have an audition, you're not on set?
Yeah.
What's Rene doing to stay sharp and eat, sleep, shit this?
You need to be I'm working always at when I get that audition, I'm mentally 100% feeling the fucking best. And what do I mean by that? For everybody, it's different. For me, waking up early, making sure I have my breakfast and going to the gym, those three, like if I do those every day, that's my anchor.
Whether you have an audition or not, whether you're in an acting class or not.
That's the routine that you keep.
Because and you can answer this. When you get an audition, right, and you get the breakdown, you're like, if you're in a shitty time in your life, right, and you feel shit about yourself, as soon as you get that audition,
you hate it. You're looking for all the bad things.
Yeah.
I gotta do this.
But if you're feeling
like
the fucking big dick in the room and you're like, yeah, like let's go. I'm feeling great. Let's roll.
Yeah, I got this.
I'm ready for this.
Yeah.
Right. And that reads on camera.
Yeah.
So I prepare myself by doing all the minutia in my daily life to make sure that when that audition comes, I'm prepared. And bro, acting and talent is so secondary. So secondary. We are all talented. No one here is better than each other. Okay? Like, it's all about what you do to get there, what you do to make the best out of your opportunities.
Yeah.
Talent doesn't mean fucking anything. And that was a really harsh lesson for me, because I was like, you know, I didn't grow up with actors or a friend circle of actors or a family of actors. And I was like, well, I'm talented. Right? Like, I am a talented person. I can do this. Like, not many people
look at this
can.
talent. Oh my gosh. Yeah,
Right? Like,
yeah.
I can do great impersonations, whatever, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then you go into the audition room and you see 50 other
Everyone's
people
talented.
is talented.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? I'm never going to be more talented than Joe next door, but I can work on my life a little bit more. I can be mentally prepared.
Yeah.
I can obsess about it more. I can sacrifice more.
Yeah.
Question is, what are you willing to sacrifice for it?
Right. Now, just in terms of like how you were brought up and what you bring to that table, I know your family's really important to you.
Yes.
And you've spoken about how you grew up watching, you know, movies with your father.
Yeah. Nice.
You know, things like
you
things
did
like
your research.
I did. Things like The Godfather, and how you'd sit there and you would learn lessons from your father through what you guys were watching
Yep.
together. And I'm curious what some of those lessons are. Do they pertain to acting, and do you still carry them with you, or are they just about life? And what were some of those things?
I've never been more thankful for anything in my life, man. And it's
For my question.
Well, no,
I'm kidding.
If it's about your question,
I'm kidding.
It's my second most
Yes,
coveted
yes,
thing.
yes,
No, it's a great question, man. Yeah, my dad and my parents, mostly my dad, we would sit down and we would watch movies, especially like the ones that stick out are like A Bronx Tale, Godfather, Scarface, and we would pop
Classics.
right, like obviously, like fuck, that's why I'm an actor. We would press pause. I'm like 8 years old, right?
Yeah.
If you watch The Godfather, when
Yeah.
Sonny gets absolutely like killed, presses pause and says, "See, Renee, that's why you can't be predictable. You can't have other people know how you're going to react, or else you get 100 bullets in the stomach." Right?
So you have 8-year-old Renee going, okay, I can't be predictable. Like,
Right. And there was another scene with Michael Corleone talks to Fredo.
Yep.
And Fredo like talked about the family business in public.
Yeah.
Right. And Michael's like, "Don't you ever talk about the family business?"
Yep. You
in
betrayed
front of
me.
Barry?"
And you get,
Right. And my dad would pause and say, "Don't ever talk about family business outside the family." And that's one example. For example, you will, if I have an issue with my family, with my close circle, because I have a very small circle, I will never discuss that publicly.
yeah.
Ever. We will talk about it behind closed doors. It's no one else's business. And yeah, man, life lessons were made through those fantastic movies, which I wish we could get back to those golden days of cinema where we made great movies like that.
What do you think is preventing us from making great movies like that?
Money, man. Money. We need to go back. You know
There's
what
more.
we-
There's more money.
Exactly.
Yeah. So what's the problem?
But they want to have these insane. They want to hit home runs every fucking time.
Right. Oh, there's no experimenting and letting something beautiful naturally occur.
We need to do movies that are mid-budget, $10 million, $12 million, right? Let's get some illegal dramas going. Let's bring that back.
Yeah.
Let's go back to whodunits. Let's get back to crime thrillers.
Yeah.
Like, do you think Seven had an
I was
insane
literally
budget,
just thinking
bro?
of Seven as you said that.
No, man.
What a
Yeah,
fucking movie, too.
Seven would be like, obviously if you had the right cast and pieces and stuff, Seven would be like a risk taker.
100%, bro.
Yeah.
100%. And Brad Pitt mentioned that like no one really took him seriously
Yeah.
as an actor,
Yeah.
right? And he took a massive pay cut to be part of that movie because he wanted to break out.
Totally.
But we really need to get back to the golden days, man. We really do, and I really think that we have. People are wanting it. More practical effects, less CGI.
CGI, yeah.
No one gives a shit about that, man.
It looks flat.
It's gross, dude.
Yeah.
It's gross. And like, yeah, it worked for a certain amount of time, but now it's just like we watch CGI on an everyday basis now
like,
with
oh,
AI.
We take it for granted. It's just like a
Right.
part of the background.
And it takes you out. Like Harry Potter, Philosopher's Stone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That first scene of them at what's the market?
Diagon Alley.
Diagon Alley.
Yeah.
Practical effects.
Yeah,
And
with the even when they enter with the umbrella with Hagrid tapping the stones and the things like then then start to like
was that?
move aside.
Yeah, exactly.
Practical? Wow.
Yeah, like you're not lost because it's that you can be immersed in it.
Yeah.
And I feel like CGI does us no favors anymore.
So on that note, we finish every interview asking our guests. I was going to say clients because you mentioned clients earlier, and I was like, "That's such an interesting way to talk about."
Are you
it.
a client?
No,
Fucking
you said that. You're like, you got one of your clients come in, and I'm like, clients? What?
Oh, I did say that. Yeah.
I want to know what's inspiring you right now, whether
Artistically.
it's a piece of music, a film, a show, because you're talking about how this like it's all CGI and AI bullshit.
Yeah.
So what is it that's artistically, yes, Daniel, artistically inspiring Rene today?
Well, I'm rewatching the stuff. I hate saying it's a great question, but you guys really are asking amazing questions.
It,
man. Oh, thanks.
I felt very, very disillusioned with the industry because everything that was coming out just wasn't my brand. So I've been rewatching a lot of the stuff that made me want to be an actor again.
Incredible.
So I'm rewatching The Wire.
Dude.
I just started it.
Oh,
I've never seen it, bro.
I'm so jealous.
You've never seen The Wire?
Never seen it.
I am so jealous.
Shit.
The second best show of all time.
that's his name?
McNulty.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I'm only on season 1, episode 4 or 5, and I haven't watched for a few days,
Yeah.
but I just started it, man.
They're not acting. They're not acting. Like they hired most of like the local of the actors locally.
Wild.
And you'll notice like the whole like the be more jargon. Like, what about you?
Yeah.
You. What do you do? That's how they speak in Baltimore. It's
Yeah.
kind of crazy. But yeah, to answer your question, going back to what like made me want to go out there, like The Departed, The
love this.
Prestige,
Yeah.
Memento, my favorite movie, Good Will Hunting, rewatching that stuff and being like,
This is why you and I are friends, man.
exactly.
It's so crazy because like I was talking to someone about Good Will Hunting the other day, and I've watched it so many times, and I fully admit it's not a perfect film. And if it were made today in 2026, there were things about it that would be different.
Yeah.
But there are certain key moments, even some of the ones that don't go, that aren't viral videos of stuff that I'm like, that little moment right there, whether it's like the look in his eye or the pause there or the way that he just took that breath. These are the things that made me go, oh, fuck, I get this. I understand what that moment is about, and I know other people.
I think the
get
fact
it
that
too.
it is imperfect.
Yes, that's what I mean.
makes it
Because
real.
we are
100%, bro.
We cultivate a society of perfection.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Everything I post on my Instagram is pretty, curated. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Everything is a perfect. So we want to see imperfection.
And that's the thing with AI. Everyone's saying like now the new creator is authenticity. It's literally picking up your phone and being like, "Hey guys, Jared here. This is what I'm doing." It's less of the curated stuff because AI is so perfect.
Yeah.
People want the authenticity. So
Yeah, man.
yeah, I think it's beautiful, man.
Absolutely. You're gonna love The Wire, man. Oh my God.
yeah,
I'm
bro.
so
I'll
jealous.
We'll start a group chat. I'll shoot you guys a message and be like, "What the fuck? This just happened."
Yeah. But the thing is, like, it's not that kind of show where it's like you're expecting a big reveal every
Right.
episode. It is the best
Slow burn?
Yeah.
Yeah.
real storytelling,
Yeah.
bro. And how they amalgamate all the storylines together
Yeah.
is
Have you seen
orgasmic.
The Sopranos?
Fuck yeah,
Yeah.
bro. That's why I said the second best show of all time.
So it's funny because a friend of mine, then we'll wrap up. A friend of mine always talked about The Wire, never saw The Sopranos. Oh. And I was like, brother, he's like, The Wire's the best show of all time. I'm like, The Sopranos is, but it's okay. Even though I'm like, I've never seen The Wire, but I'm like, The Sopranos is.
It's like, I don't care that I don't know your show. My show is the best of all time.
But he watched it. He's like, okay, it definitely holds up. He's like, I think I like The Wire a little bit more, but it's definitely up there.
HBO,
and I was
bro.
like, I'll watch The Wire now because you watched Sopranos, and now we're going to discuss it after. But
yeah, man. And House of Cards minus the last season.
I completely agree.
Yeah. A perfect show minus the
Completely
last
agree.
season.
I remember the first episode of House of Cards blew my fucking mind. I
When
think
the dog.
the dog. Literally the first scene.
Tell me you've watched.
have not seen House of
Dude,
Cards.
literally the first
Let
scene.
me
I
just
was
say
like,
this. Let me
there's
just say
been
this.
nothing
You
done
are
like
welcome.
that.
You are welcome.
I got to finish The Wire first,
The
and I'll do
first
House of
scene
Cards.
set the whole tone for the whole show, and I was like, I'm locked in.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's all the time that we
Yeah,
have.
man.
But Renee,
Thanks, guys.
Man, thanks for wanting to come on and being excited to like chat about this
Dude,
stuff.
I had to beg you to come on here.
You
Like
don't
I
have to
want
beg.
all
All
our
right.
listeners to know I needed to be on
I
this
also want all of our
podcast.
listeners to know you sat around for a hot minute while we figured some shit out here. So we
Yeah.
appreciate you, man.
The least I could do, guys.
This is good, people. We actually do have a bunch of questions we didn't get to, so we will be making our rounds again. Would love to have you on again to unpack some of that other stuff. But thank you for your time and honestly, man, like for your artistic heart and your insight. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Real quick, actually, plug your socials, anything you got going on, anything that you want to.
Yeah, so you can follow me at Rene Escobar Jr. On Instagram and watch Untitled Home Invasion Romance out on Apple TV and Prime Video. Do it.
And you can't park there.
You can't park there.
That's all.
Cool.
One more. I love you. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
All right, I'll wrap it there.
Perfect.